Welcome. In this video I will show my updated PvP build from the Broken Monk build. This build is definitely one of the best builds for the Monk in PvP. I could even argue that it has the fastest kill potential out of all the builds. But this great power does not come for free, as this build is fairly hard to play compared to some other builds out there. If we compare this build to old Shimmerin build, it's night and day, and if you are on mobile it's even harder to play, but thanks to some new essences it will work even with mobile, or it will be a bit easier with mobile. This build now be super annoying and you can just appear from nowhere on the opponent's point of view. So what do we use with this build? Well, as this is a Wave Strike build, we are using Wave Strike, and with Wave Strike we are using Will Below. This is a must-have essence and this is our bread and butter damage skill. It also has knockback in it, even though it doesn't say it on the tooltip for some reason. Now this skill does more damage than the Shimmerin, even if the Shimmerin hits with everywhere, but that's not even the full potential, as we are using Mystic Strike to boost the damage of Wave Strike, and we do that with Fate Align, as that will increase our next skill used after Mystic Strike by 57%. A whopping 57 damage increase is quite a huge damage increase. Now we also use Branding Bond with Mystic Strike, as then this skill will be instant and you can be interrupted if you don't have desync, but that's another topic. And with this you also have knockback, so you can just dash through enemy or enemies and knock back them, followed up with Wave Strike to knock back them again. Rinse and repeat, and you can just one combo people. Now with the new essence you can also use Reticent Wind to get 3 seconds invisibility after Mystic Strike, making this build easier to use on mobile. Now of course I did not get this, as well always when we get something OP on the Monk it will take me a month or two to actually get it. I think I have every other one but not this. Now you can also engage by using Mystic Strike before, so you can engage while you are still that. Pretty OP if you ask me. If you don't have this or want a bit more damage instead of the stealth, you can use Twitching Palm on the second of hand slots. And of course, because I do not have the stealth yet, I'm using Twitching Palm right now. Now, next ability on our arsenal will be Flying Kick. Flying Kick also has knockback and fairly high damage, almost rivaling the Will Below, and is best used right after Fist of Thunder's dash, or sometimes before. I will be doing Monk Masterclass where I dive deeply on every skill and when and where and how to use them on that series. This is just covering the build. So if you don't want to miss that, hit that subscribe button, and while you are it, hit that like button too. With Flying Kick we are not using any essences, it's good enough without any of them, and there are just happens to be better options for those lots. Now the last skill we use is Shield of Zen, and Monk just isn't the same without this ability. In PvP this ability makes Monk so hated, as you can't CC monks that has the shield up, and it can last 1 to 3 hits depending on the damage of the enemy player. This is just too huge on this build, as we are so fast with the Mystic Strike to CC enemies on long distance. Now the essence we use with this is Enlightenment's Blessing, just for that 25% movement speed. This will save you when running away, and this will also help you chase some low HP targets when it's worth chasing them. We also have Intervening Law, as that dash is just too good to pass by. This is so good when escaping, as you get to dash away and you then get the 25% movement speed from the blessing. Now the last essence with this is Pensive Crown. With Pensive Crown we can have close to 100% uptime on the Shield of Zen, so we can precast Shield of Zen a lot earlier, and still use it as an escape tool after engage. You can also use a Purity's Thought to get rid of all dots on yourself, but honestly, the shield is usually enough to heal while I have dots on, so I prefer to have the uptime, so I can use the skill whenever I need movement speed, and then I still can use this when I need to escape while also having the CC immunity on engages. Just makes everything easier. Now last but not least, we are using Fist of Thunder. This skill lets us again close the distance fast, and if you're using flying kick right after you get knockback, and usually you're in range to keep hitting them after. Note that you never can do full combo, or if you do, they will not be CC'd anymore, so never do more than 2 strings if possible. Sometimes you might need to use the last one if you just don't have any skills up, but usually you do engage with the skills. Now the essences we use with this is Unyielding Doctrine, as the 50% attack speed buff is just too good to pass by. Makes you a great threat even when you don't have skills to do proper combos, and makes your ultimate super good and deadly. The ultimate with Fist of Thunder, and this alone is super scary. You will become a killing machine when you pop this with this build. Now we still have set items to go over. Now there are 2 options to use, and I will go over the one I use firstly. I personally use 4-piece Withus, as I have started to use more normal attacks in between my skills to get some extra damage, and save skills for other targets to be more effective. And as Mystic Strike will trigger Withus now, with Fate Align, I basically have the buff on every time I am on a fight, as Mystic Strike is the usual engagement skill anyways. This also makes your skills faster, so you are really hard to track when you Mystic Strike, and Wave Strike is faster. Also makes it easier to wave normal attacks in between these. And of course 2 pieces of Glooms. But Mountebank's 2-piece works here as well if you want some tankiness. It's personal preference, and lately I've been testing out the Mountebanks, but I would recommend Glooms for lower reso players, as the Mountebank shield is based on HP, and with low HP it's not that useful. Its best use is to make Shield of Zen a bit bigger. Now the other option of course is 4-piece Glooms to get that extra crit chance. Now with this setup you will lose less normal attacks and rely on crit hits to instantly kill targets. I used to use 4-piece Glooms as it gives you nice burst damage, but nowadays I just like to have longer uptime on my monk, and Withus will give me that. Now with 4-piece Glooms you either use 2-piece Withus to increase Zen's duration, so you can have it up almost all the time, or use Mountebanks to be a bit more tankier, but lose the ability to have shield on almost all the time. Again, this is personal preference, but I would use Withus with this, as I love to have Zen up almost all the time. Now this is the build in entirety, and if you really want to learn how to play this build better, I will be doing the Monk Masterclass, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that one, because I'm gonna go through everything that you can do with Monk and when you should do, and I will go through every skill and a lot more. And there are also, if you want, there are also going to be something that I can help. Like if you ask me to do something on the master class, I will be doing that, and I will be having a membership up on probably next week. So if you do join as a member in this channel, you will have the ability to decide some videos I will be making, and the masterclass is one of those that would be pretty great to do. But thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next one.